Welcome to Kyle Talks at Random. Today I want to talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Last year, the state of Utah passed HB 261, banning a bunch of diversity-related efforts in Utah's institutions of higher education, such as diversity training, asking potential employees about their experience with diversity, and positions related to promoting diversity. While advocating for the ban, Governor Cox said, "These diversity statements you have to sign to get hired. I think that is awful, bordering on evil. We're forcing people into a political framework before they can even apply for a job with the state." I'd like to read one of these statements and decide for myself if they are evil. Governor Cox could not provide any statement that was being required by any institution in the state, neither could any member of the legislature. What they were able to provide is job postings that asked about the applicant's experience working in diverse environments. This is a question I am asked in the private sector all the time, for very legitimate reasons. The teams I have managed over the last several years have included different nationalities, races, ethnicities, genders, homosexuals, and transsexuals. Managing these types of teams does take certain skills. And an employer wanting to know if a manager has these skills, or someone who's trying to manage and control a classroom has these skills and experiences, is a perfectly legitimate question. When I was in college, I took a breadth education credit, and I had my first experience of being in the minority. I noticed that women outnumbered men by at least 5 to 1 in that class, and when we had breakout sessions in smaller groups, I was the only man in my group. When I was in the minority, I noticed it. After that experience, I began looking around at my computer science classes and noticed that there was often only one woman in the class. As humans, we notice differences. We notice when we are the odd one out. We did have several related computer science clubs. There was FSLC, which I was the president of for a couple of years. There was .NET, where the president was hired by Microsoft. There was the ACM and the ACMW. The first three were all led by men the entire time I was there. The last one was ran by and for women, but men were invited. In fact, I was personally invited to attend by the club president. These organizations exist not to give minorities some special experience or training that the majority is being denied. They exist to give minorities the experience that the majority already has, seeing someone else like them doing what they are doing. My only extended experience as a minority is being an LDS Democrat. I have joined various LDS Democrat groups in order to have a sense of belonging. Both my ward and caucus members have made me feel unwelcome at times. And it's nice to have somewhere to go and know that I'm not the only LDS Democrat. Yes, there is evidence that some diversity trainings make existing biases and resentment worse. But rather than looking into what diversity programs do work, Governor Cox and the Utah legislature chose to ban all diversity-related efforts. Being a minority in a system can be hard and make you question whether you belong. I believe efforts to make sure everyone feels welcomed on Utah's campuses benefit us all. We all have unconscious biases. I know I have to intentionally self-confront mine all the time. I think it is helpful if we all try to be a little bit more aware and conscious of what others may be going through. Thank you for listening to Kyle Talks at Random.